Today I want to do a video on like anarchy and Christian anarchy and basically what the difference is. And I think people always, those that are anarchists think that like anarchy is the way and it's the only way. And those that are for government think government's the only way and is the only way. And they think anarchy is terrible. And those who are anarchists think government is terrible. But in reality, like, neither are the solution. Like, I know this is going to scare a lot of anarchists, but, like, I am an anarchist, but I'm a Christian anarchist. And what that means is that I recognize God as my ruler, okay? Now, the reason this is a difference between anarchists is because a lot of them want nothing to rule them. But, like, you have to understand that's why anarchy has that chaotic viewpoint. And a lot of anarchists are actually chaotic in a lot of ways because they want control by overthrowing the control, okay, which is actually wrong. For example, it's all about, a lot of peaceful anarchists are about exposing the truth. Well, if you want to do that, you have to talk about Jesus and you have to talk about God because Jesus was the truth. And the truth is that there's a heaven and a hell, and that's your sentence in life. So what I'm saying is basically, and the reason I'm talking about this is because like I got in a debate today, kind of like on Steemit about certain regulations that are not in Steemit, but I was talking about how like it should be more of like the ethics of Steemit and just society in general should be really more Christian in a lot of ways. Like now, like Christian anarchists recognizes that God is the ruler of all things, okay? And we are willing to speak about it. But just a regular anarchist says nothing should rule over them. An atheist anarchist, for example. But if that is the case, then that's chaos because it's a free-for-all. People have no fear in their hearts. People have to have God, have to be God-fearing because it's also a combination of fear and love is what makes us be good people, okay? We love to be good. You're good because you love to do it, not because you're scared of what will happen if you don't. But the fear also keeps you being good because you fear God's judgment. You don't want to do bad things because of guilt, because of the fear of going to hell. It's the love of heaven, the hope for heaven, along with the fear of hell. Because people say, well, you should only talk about love and happiness and this and that. People are always about talking about, like, just love each other. Everyone just love each other. But it's like, that's not reality. Like, in reality, there's a lot of different emotions. There isn't just love. Like, love doesn't just exist. There's love, there's wrath, there's jealousy, there's everything. It's all there. I think too is that when you tend to love or overlove or love, once you love everyone for everything, then love, it has no substance. You know what I mean? Like, if you are willing to love everyone, your love doesn't mean anything, so you don't really love anybody. So that, like, you have to earn love in order to receive it and things like that. So, just want to talk about like that type of philosophy and really the idea of anarchy and the difference between anarchy and Christian anarchy. Like when you look at God is our ruler, okay, and we're supposed to rule the earth. For example, in a perfect world, no one is your boss. Okay, you're the boss of the land. Okay, you till the soil, you raise crop, and we rule the earth in the sense that like we have all the tools we need to strive as a society. And do some people need guidance? Yeah, but the people that need guidance will look for guidance, and I think that's why government is basically a large evil. Like rulers always want to rule us. That's what they do. They want to control the people without being controlled, and so many of them live above the law. Like, for example, cops, you get a free, excuse my language, sorry. You get a ticket for texting on your phone, which you shouldn't text on your phone anyways. I'm not saying you should while you're driving because it is dangerous. I yell at my sister all the time. But then you have, how many cops have you seen on their walkie-talkies or talking to someone? They have a computer right here while they're driving. Like, they literally have a computer standing up, on their driving. So it's one of those things where it's like, and then you hear of all these, like, cops assaulting people and then they don't get sentenced to jail. The problem with the whole governmental structure is that you have everyone who's not part of the government living under the rules and regulations, but everyone a part of the government lives above that. If a cop pulls over another cop, he says, "I'm a cop." Oh, okay, I'm not going to give you a ticket. I mean, it's so wrong. It's ridiculous, and that's why you're seeing so many kids that aren't going to be able to get a work out of school. They're going to lose their jobs. There's going to be economical deficit because it all floods to the rulers and to the people at the tippy top, the banks, and everything like that. And that's why anarchy is a good thing, but it's actually a bad thing. Christian anarchy, and you give all the authority to God, and not even to any person, not even the people. It's not the bottom or the top that should have control. It's the Lord that should have control. So I just wanted to talk about that, and I thought it was an interesting thought when it popped in my brain. So, because I really am like an anarchist, but I label myself as a Christian anarchist. And when I talk about anarchy, I talk about God. And I think a lot of anarchists, they're scared. People are so scared to preach the word of God, like even very well-known anarchists, because they don't want to like lose followers and things. But guess what? If you preach the word, you're going to get hate. Okay, people are going to hate you, and you're going to lose friends, and you're going to lose followers. You're going to lose everything. I feel like sometimes I have lost a lot because I've not pushed people away from me, but I've been so willing to speak the word and keep to my morals that people just don't want to be around me because they do not want to accept the truth in their life. People don't want to be unplugged from the matrix. They want to stay in the matrix. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to go where Neo goes. You know what I mean? And obviously, the only reason I reference to that story is because it puts it in perspective of the story of Christ. And that's actually what the Matrix is about. I'm not a big one for fiction and tales, but in that specific case, it gives a pretty good visual. I mean, the reason I don't like referencing to the Matrix is because of the fact, like, the Bible is the Matrix. Like, once you accept the fact that the prophets were real, everything in the Bible was real, and you're willing to preach the word and not only, preach to people. If you preach to people about the truth and you don't preach about that, you're actually not preaching about the truth in any ways, because you're just distracting them from what is real and from their purpose in this world. So, something to think about. Thought I'd share. Peace.